Good evening, children. Good evening, children. Grade 4 children. So we'll start with yet another session of Olympiad classes. Now, last time we had finished the chapter on plants. So this time we are going to start with a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is animals. So this is all about animals, which you are going to read here. Now, first I'm going to show you some PPTs about some facts about animals, which you need to know. And questions are usually asked from these facts. Okay, so we'll share the screen now. Okay, so we start now on animals. Let's start with classification of animals. Now, classification of animals based on their backbone, the presence or absence of a backbone. I hope you know what a backbone is. It is part of the skeleton, that is the vertebral column. The backbone is also known as a spine. It is also known as the vertebral column, and it is protecting the spinal cord. It protects the spinal cord, which runs through the vertebral column. So animals are divided into two groups based on the presence or absence of a backbone. Animals that have a backbone are known as vertebrates. Animals which do not have a backbone are known as invertebrates. Now, vertebrates can be mammals, that is the group to which we belong, then fish, birds, reptiles, and amphibians. These are all vertebrates. Invertebrates can be all of these. All the insects are invertebrates. Snails are invertebrates. Earthworms are invertebrates. Starfish are invertebrates. Octopus and these shelled animals, snails. And then, for example, like jellyfish, these corals, they're all worms. They're all invertebrate. They do not have a backbone. So this is one type of classification. Another classification is, now all these vertebrates, that is the animals which have backbones, they are warm-blooded or they are cold-blooded. Now, warm-blooded doesn't mean that the blood is warm, or cold-blooded doesn't mean that the blood is ice cold. It is these warm-blooded animals, the temperature of their body remains constant. Even if it is cold outside, for example, your temperature. Now, it's very hot outside, so it doesn't mean that the temperature of your body will increase. And in winters, when it is very cold outside and it is snowing, your temperature of the body will always remain constant, isn't it? That is 98.6, whatever your temperature is, it will always remain constant. Now, these animals whose body temperature remains constant are known as warm-blooded animals. And they are all the mammals and the birds. No one else, only the mammals and the birds. And these cold-blooded animals are fish, reptiles, and amphibians. Okay. Now, because the temperature, the body temperature varies depending on the temperature outside, so it is very difficult for them to adjust. Okay. That is why most of these animals, like snails and snakes and all that, they sleep during winter. Okay. So we will take it up later when we do these questions. Next classification. Based on the food habits. So like based on our food habits, we can be vegetarians or non-vegetarians, and we have got vegans and so many new types of vegetarians. So based on our food habits, what we like, what we don't like, or what we are prone to eat. So animals also, most of them, they are based on what they eat, they are classified as herbivores or carnivores. Herbivores eat only plants. Omnivores eat only animals. and carnivores eat only animals. Omnivores eat both plants and animals. That is why I've drawn it in a Venn diagram here. So these Venn diagrams, they're very, very common questions, Venn diagram questions, always asked during Olympiad. So please do understand these Venn diagrams. I'm sure you must have done it in maths also. So these are, Venn diagrams are nothing but circles which include a group. So this is one circle that includes herbivores. This is one circle that includes carnivores. And this place where it overlaps has got common to both the groups. Okay. So this will be omnivores. So in this particular Venn diagram, omnivores is common to herbivores and carnivores because they eat both plants and animals. So these are classification based on the food habits. Next, reproduction in animals. Now, animals reproduce, every living organism reproduce. Just like plants, we had done reproduction in plants, and I told you that plants reproduce through seeds, or they can reproduce vegetatively through their stem, through their root, through their leaves, right? And right now, we are talking about animals. Now, animals reproduce in two ways. Some animals lay eggs, and some animals give birth to young ones. Okay. The animals who lay eggs are known as oviparous animals, and animals who give birth to young ones are known as viviparous animals. Here. So I've got this written here. Oviparous animals, they lay eggs, and viviparous animals, see here the word embryo is written. Embryo means the young one of any animal. Okay, whether it is human beings or birds, animals, young one is known as embryo or larva. Okay, embryo when it is inside the body and larva when it is hatched out of the egg. Oviparous animals, the development of the young one takes place outside the animal. That is, they lay eggs, and the development after the eggs hatch, the young one starts developing and forms the adult. Viviparous animals, the development of the embryo young one takes place inside the animal. That is, those who give birth to young ones, the young ones, they develop in the mother's womb. Okay, so the development takes place inside the animal, inside the mother's womb. The oviparous animals, they produce young ones by laying eggs. Viviparous animals, they give birth directly to young ones. Here, in the oviparous animals, you have seen an egg. If you eat eggs, or if you are this non-vegetarian, you must have seen the yellow part of the egg. The yellow part of the egg is also known as egg yolk, and that is the nutrition. From that, the embryo or the young one receives nutrition in the egg. So the embryo receives nutrients or nutrition from the egg yolk. And here in viviparous animals, the embryo or the young one receives nutrition from the mother because it is developing in the mother's womb. So it will receive nutrition from the mother. Examples of oviparous animals are all the insects, fish, reptiles, for example, crocodile and lizards and snakes. They're all reptiles, and all the birds. They're all oviparous animals. Examples of viviparous animals are all the mammals. That is cats, dogs, humans, lions, deer, all of them. So they are viviparous animals. So modes of reproduction is, there are two modes of reproduction: animals that lay eggs and animals that give birth. Animals that lay eggs are known as oviparous. The word ova means egg. Okay. The word viva means live, very lively, living. So oviparous animals, animals that lay eggs. Viviparous animals, animals that give birth to young ones. So this is another type of classification. So after classification, let us do the life cycle of animals, because there are some questions asked on the life cycle, and this is there as a chapter in your book also. Now I've taken 4. Let us do 3 out of this. Life cycle of a frog, life cycle of a chicken, of a hen, or life cycle of a butterfly. Now here, life cycle of a frog. Now you'll see that there are 4 stages here. The adult frog, the female adult frog, lays eggs in the water. Okay. These eggs, and you can see there are so many eggs. Can you tell me why there are so many eggs? Because these eggs, they lay in large numbers, and they're not laid singly, they're laid in a group, and they're bound to each other in a slimy fluid, okay, so that the eggs don't get washed away. And since they lay eggs in the water, they may be eaten away by all these fish and predators in the water. So that is why they lay eggs in large numbers. Now these eggs, they hatch into young ones. Young one, after it is hatched from the egg, is known as a larva. The larva of a frog is known as tadpole. So remember, larva is the young one of any animal that hatches out of the egg. Okay. So here the eggs hatch, the young one hatches out. It does not resemble the adult. You can see this tadpole, does it resemble the frog? No. It resembles more like it looks more like a fish than a frog. Okay. So this young one has to undergo many changes to become an adult because it is so different from the adult. So it has a tail, but see the adult does not have a tail. It has got no limbs, but see the adult has limbs also. It has got arms and legs and all, forelimbs and hind limbs, and it stays on land. But here it cannot stay in land. It has to stay in water. So it breathes in water. So when it breathes in water, it has got special feature to help it to breathe in water. And what is that feature known as? It is known as gills. So just like fish has gills, this also has got gills. So this tadpole has got tail. It breathes through gills. It has got no limbs. No forelimb, no hind limb. What are forelimbs and hind limbs? Forelimbs means hands, the one which comes before. Okay. Hind limbs means the one that comes behind. That is hind limbs. Okay. So legs are known as hind limbs. Hands are known as forelimbs. So in us, but then in these animals, they are known as forelimbs and hind limbs. Now, after some weeks, the tadpole starts developing the hind limbs first. Okay. First, the hind limbs comes out. Then the forelimbs. Because the forelimbs find it difficult to come out because at that place the gills are present. So the forelimbs come out later on. Now you see, it has got the forelimbs also, it has got the hind limbs also, but it has a tail. Gradually over the weeks, the tail disappears, it is reabsorbed back, and this young one jumps onto land and it is now an adult. So it has got usually 4 stages: the adult, the egg, the tadpole, and the young frog or whatever, and then the adult. Life cycle of a butterfly. Let us do the life cycle of a butterfly. The female adult butterfly lays eggs. It lays eggs on a leaf, okay, and also many eggs. Now these eggs they hatch to form the larva. The larva of a butterfly is called as caterpillar. Okay. It is known as caterpillar. Now, can you see this caterpillar? Does it resemble the adult? No, it does not resemble the adult. So it has to undergo many changes to become an adult. Now, this caterpillar, it feeds lots. It eats and eats and eats and eats all the leaves. It eats a lot of leaves, especially mulberry leaves and all. Then it becomes a pupa. Pupa is the resting stage. It is a non-feeding stage. It does not feed. And after resting for some time, for a week or so, you can see an adult butterfly emerges from it. Now this butterfly then becomes the adult. Okay. So you can see here how many stages: the adult, the egg, the caterpillar, pupa. Okay. So these are the 4 stages. Now these type of stages, these type of life cycle, where the young one does not resemble the adult, is known as metamorphosis. Okay. So these are known as metamorphosis. But here, these two, just see this life cycle of a hen. The adult hen lays eggs. Okay. The female hen, it lays eggs. The eggs hatch to form a young chick. But then see, just this chick resembles the adult. Okay. So here metamorphosis will not take place. So what is the term here? Metamorphosis. Okay. Okay. So metamorphosis, you can see it where? In the frog, in the butterfly. You can see it even in the cockroach. You can see it in the housefly. Now, in the cockroach, I will tell you now itself because there are some questions later on. Now, here in the butterfly, there are 4 stages, right? An adult, the egg, the caterpillar, and the pupa. But in the cockroach, there are 3 stages. One is the adult cockroach. It lays eggs. The eggs hatch to form a nymph, okay, which little bit resembles the adult, and then it becomes an adult. So 3 stages in the life cycle of a cockroach, but 4 stages in frog and in butterfly. So here you will find that frog and butterfly undergo metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is a series of changes taken place in a young one. So that because it doesn't resemble the adult, so it has to undergo a series of changes before it becomes an adult. These series of changes is known as metamorphosis. So metamorphosis is happening in frog. It is happening in butterfly. It is not happening in chicken, right? Life cycle of a turtle also, you can see these turtles. Now, Odisha is very famous for the olive ridley turtles, okay? And now is the time for them for nesting time for them. Nesting time means they come onto the shore, they lay eggs in thousands of numbers they must have. You must have seen it on TV also, and or somewhere in the news that it is the nesting time of the olive ridley turtles. And once they lay eggs, they come onto the land to lay eggs. Now, these eggs, they hatch and they resemble the adult. Okay. So, this is the young one coming out of the egg, hatching out of the egg. Okay. So, here it is. This is also not a metamorphosis. This is also not metamorphosis. So, I showed you 2 life cycles where metamorphosis takes place and 2 life cycles where metamorphosis does not take place. And in all of them, they do not give birth to young ones. All of them are oviparous animals. So I'm showing you the life cycles of oviparous animals, animals that lay eggs. Okay. Next one is very important because questions have been asked definitely from this food chain and food web. Now here, food chain. What is a food chain? Like a chain. It is the process of eating or being eaten. Okay. So trees. Now here you'll find that trees are being eaten by deer. Deer is being eaten by lion. So this forms a chain. Okay. Now the flower. The butterflies visit the flower to suck nectar. These butterflies or these insects are eaten by the frog. The frog is eaten by the snake. The snake is eaten by the hawk or vulture or eagle. So this is a food chain. So here you'll find it is a series of food being eaten or by eating. So the snake is being eaten by eagle and it is eating frog. So here this is a chain formed of these sort of animals. Here the next one is flower. Now these are all aquatic plants, ones which are in water. So these small water plants are being eaten by small fish. These small fish are eaten by larger fish. These larger fish are eaten by all these birds that live near the water bodies, like the pelican and the swan and the duck and all that. Okay. Apart from this food chain, there is a food web. You can see this food web. So here it is more complicated than a food chain. For example, the grass is eaten by mouse. It is being eaten by grasshopper. It is being eaten by rabbit. Rabbit is being eaten by fox. It is also being eaten by the hawk. The mouse is being eaten by fox also, by hawk also, by the owl also. The grass is eaten by grasshopper. Grasshopper is eaten by frog. Frog is eaten by owl. The frog is also eaten by the snake. The grasshopper is also eaten by a bird, small birds. And this bird is also eaten by snake. Snake is eaten by hawk. So here this forms a web. This forms a sort of network of food chain. So more than one type of food chain, it forms a network. So that is known as food web. So this is what you have to learn before we start with the questions. That is, I will just go through it again. The vertebrates and invertebrates animals which have a backbone, animals which do not have backbone. Then classification of vertebrates depending on their body temperature. That is, warm-blooded animals, body temperature remains constant, and cold-blooded animals, body temperature varies according to their environment. So they sleep during summer and they sleep during winter. Okay, next. Classification based on food habits. They are herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores. Herbivores eat only plants, carnivores eat animals, omnivores eat both. For example, the crow. Here you'll find the crow, it eats, or the hyena, the fox, they eat, the bear, they all are omnivores. Reproduction, based on the reproduction, animals are of two types. They lay eggs or they give birth. The ones which lay eggs are known as oviparous. Ones which give birth are viviparous. Now here there is one exception. All the mammals, they give birth. Okay. But there is one mammal which is known as the duck-billed platypus, which lays eggs. The duck-billed platypus, there's a question on that. So when we do the question, I will write it down for you. So duck-billed platypus and the spiny anteater. These are the two exceptions. They are both mammals, but they do not. All the mammals, they give birth to young ones, isn't it? For example, the dog, the cat, the lion, the tiger, the monkeys, the cows, they are all mammals and they all give birth to young ones. But this mammal, the duck-billed platypus, is an egg-laying mammal. Okay, so it is an exception. It is an egg-laying mammal. Then the life cycles. So we have read about the life cycles of, these are all the oviparous animals. They either have got 4-stage or 3-stage life cycle, and they undergo metamorphosis where the young one does not resemble the adult, or they do not undergo metamorphosis. Then the food chain or the food web, that is a series of processes where the animals are eating or being eaten. Food chain, that is a food chain, and food web is a network of food chains. Okay, so we will do the questions now. I'll share the questions now. I hope you can all see now. Now we will start with level 2. So because level 1 are very easy questions and I'm sure all of you will be able to do that. We'll start with level 2. Okay. Select the correct match. Mimicry, aestivation, blubber, blowhole. First, let me introduce these terms for you. Now, mimicry is something where the animal, to protect itself, it takes the color or the shape of the surroundings. Okay, it mimics, it imitates another non-living thing or another type of animal. For example, the grasshopper. It looks exactly like the grass. Okay, so that it can protect itself and it can stay in that place, right? So that, I mean, the predators, for example, the birds, they will not be able to see them. Okay. Aestivation. Aestivation is a sleep of animals in summer. So aestivation is summer sleep. And hibernation is winter sleep. Okay. So summer sleep is aestivation and hibernation is winter sleep. So there are animals that sleep in winter. For example, the polar bear. When it becomes very, very cold, the polar bear cannot go out, will not be able to get food outside. So what will it do? If it doesn't get food, it will have no energy, to look for food also. So it sleeps. Okay. So that is known as winter sleep or hibernation. So to conserve energy, to store energy, these animals, they sleep for the entire winter. And there are some animals that sleep during summer. For example, now blubber. Blubber is a layer of fat below the skin. It is found in large mammals like whales. So whale, just below the skin, there is a layer of fat present. That is known as blubber. Now, blowhole. Blowhole is present in whales. These aquatic animals, you must have seen, there is a spurt of water that comes out from the whale's head. That is known as it comes out from the blowhole present. Now, which is the correct match here? Aestivation, polar bear, no, it sleeps in winter. Blubber is present in cow, no, it is present in whales. Blowhole is not present in fish, it is present in whales. Now, this one. Hawk. You've seen a hawk? It looks exactly like its surrounding. The moth, when it sits on a stick or something, it looks like its surrounding. It mimics it. Caterpillar is green in color, so it looks like its surroundings. So I will show you one example of, see this one. You can see this. This is an insect, and it looks exactly like the leaf on which it is sitting. So it is mimicking, it is imitating. Mimicry means imitating. Just like when sometimes you mimic an actor or actress or a teachers. So that is known as you are imitating them. So here these animals are also imitating the surroundings or the place where they are staying. Why do they do it? They do it so that they can escape being noticed by the predators. See here, if this insect sits on this leaf, the predator means somebody who eats it. For example, here the predator will be the birds. So the birds will not be able to see it. And here they will escape their notice. So this is to escape the notice of the predator. So the two terms you have learnt again, prey. Here this insect is the prey, and predator, the birds are predators. So predator-prey relationship. Predator is somebody who eats, prey is somebody who gets eaten. For example, lion and deer. Lion is the predator and deer is the prey. So even in the grasslands where the lion and deer are staying, so the deer has got brown skin color, which it can hide behind the dry grasses so that the lion is not able to see it. Okay. So this is something which they imitate. So mimicry is another new term which you have heard. This mimicry, even we have taken it up in the army. We must have seen in the army the uniform of the army. When they go into the jungles, it mimics the jungle surroundings, the trees there. They've got the hat, and on the hat they put grass or leaves or something, so that they are not noticed by the enemy. So we are learning a lot from these animal world and plant world. So this is done to protect themselves from the enemies, from their predators. Okay, so the answer, the answer will be, this one. Select the correct match. Okay, next. Rajiv saw a bird swimming in water. Which kind of foot would the bird have? You must have seen these people who dive into the water. So they have got these sort of flippers present, right? This sort. So why? So that they can swim in water. They can paddle in water. So here, which kind of foot could the bird have? Not this one, not this one, not this one. It will be this one. So answer is A. So whose feet can these be? It is the duck. So that is why the duck can paddle in water. All the other types of feet are birds which perch on the branches. They hold the branch. That is known as perching on the branch. So they are perching type of feet. These are swimming type of feet. Next. Zen observed two animals, P and Q, in his locality and tabulated their characters as shown here. Select the option which correctly identifies these animals. Gives birth to young ones, and so P gives birth to young ones, yes, but Q doesn't give birth to young ones. So that means P is viviparous and Q is oviparous. Has 4 stages in the life cycle? No, it doesn't have 4 stages in the life cycle. So it cannot be butterfly and this frog and all that. And this one has 4 stages in the life cycle. Yes, it has got 4 stages in the life cycle. It doesn't give birth to young ones. So this can be frog or a butterfly. Young one resembles the adult. Yes. So they lay eggs. Sorry, they give birth to young ones, and the young one resembles the adult. Okay. It can be any mammal. But here, no, the young one doesn't resemble the adult. So it can be frog, it can be butterfly also. Okay. I mean, I'm giving you some examples. So it is not necessary that it will be that. It has got wings. Any questions? Yes, somebody has written about food web. Okay. Has wings? Yes. In both, it has got wings. Okay, so what can it be? P is butterfly? No, because it gives birth to young ones. So P cannot be butterfly. Q is frog? Maybe. C is koala bear. What is a koala bear? Okay. Koala bear. Koala bear is a type of animal that stays in Australia. It is native to Australia. Okay. Looks like a small bear. Q is dolphin. Dolphin gives birth to young ones. So it cannot be this. B is sparrow and Q is grasshopper. See, this one, it has got wings, and P is sparrow, but sparrow lays eggs. So it cannot be sparrow. So here this one is wrong. D is bat and housefly. So yes, this can be bat or housefly because bat is a mammal. Now listen children, bat is not a bird. It has got wings, it can fly, but bat is not a bird. It has got it is a mammal because it gives birth to young ones. It has got hair on its body. It has got external ears. So bat is a mammal and it gives birth to young ones. So here P can be bat and Q can be housefly. Yes. It has got 4 stages in the life cycle. Yes. And it gives birth to young ones? No. Young ones resembles the adults? No. In housefly, just like in butterfly. So the life cycle of a housefly, life cycle of a butterfly are just the same. And it has got wings? Yes, both of them have got wings. Okay, so the answer is D. Study the 2 life cycles P and Q and select the option that correctly identifies the organism which shows these life cycles respectively. See here, I'm sure you'll be able to do this. Why? Because we have done the life cycles. So let me see any answers here. Okay. Here. Now here in P, you can see that there are 4 stages. In Q, There are 3 stages, right? So 3 stages, I told you it is present in cockroaches also. So here, 4 stages. Okay, you are able to, yeah, you have not answered. Okay. Here. Now here, mosquito, P, butterfly. No, Q is not butterfly because it is showing 3 stages. Lizard, P is lizard. No, there is no pupa here. Okay, and Q is frog. No, frog has got 4 stages. P is housefly. Yes, it has got 4 stages. Q is cockroach. Yes. So answer is P. P is grasshopper and Q is dragonfly. No. So this is also wrong. Both of them have got 3 stages life cycle. So I hope you understood what is the 3 stage and 4 stage life cycle. C. Yes. Most of you have answered C. Correct. Okay, match column 1 with column 2 and select the correct option. Adaptation for flight. Now, children, what is adaptation? Adaptation is any structural feature or structure which helps the animal or plant to live comfortably in its home or habitat. Okay. For example, the camel. The camel has got an adaptation like a hump where it stores food and it can go for many days without food. So that is an adaptation of camel. Okay. The fish has got gills. That is an adaptation so that it can breathe in water. So these are known as adaptation. So adaptations are some features, some structures which any animal or plant has so that they can live comfortably in any habitat. Okay. So adaptation for flight. What can it be? Adaptation for flight. These are hollow bones. Hollow means hollow will definitely be light. Now, the birds who have to fly, if they are very heavy, if their bones are like us, filled with bone marrow and heavy, they will not be able to fly. Okay. So they have got this adaptation. We don't have. So we cannot fly because we don't have those adaptations to fly. But birds can fly because they've got adaptations to fly. And one of the adaptations is they've got hollow bones. So hollow bones make the body of the bird light. If the body of the bird is light, it will be able to fly. So another adaptation with the bird is they've got wings to fly. They've got streamlined body to fly so that a streamlined body can cut through water. Fish has got streamlined body adapted to swim in water so that it can cut through water and it can swim. The bird has got streamlined body so that it can cut through air. That is why we have copied this, the structure, the streamlined structure to make our submarines, to make our boats, to make our aeroplanes. You'll find that the aeroplanes have got streamlined body, okay, which is thick in the front and then it is pointed down, okay. Just like you make aeroplanes, you make it pointed. Why you make it pointed? So that it can fly fast. So this is known as a streamlined body. And that is a type of adaptation which animals have. The animals who fly, they have. Animals who swim, they have. Okay, adaptation for flight is hollow bones. Adaptation for protection from enemies. Adaptation for protection from enemies, I told you, one of them is camouflage. Now, what is camouflage? Camouflage is just like mimicry. In mimicry, the animals, they take up the shape or structure of the surrounding where they're staying. Camouflage is they blend with the surroundings. They take up the color. For example, you must have seen the garden lizard or chameleon. Okay, it changes its color. Okay, like girgit. In Hindi, you call it girgit. So they change their color according to where they're staying. So on the tree, you'll find that the chameleon is brown in color. On the grass, it is green in color. So they change their color and that is known as camouflage, where they can hide in their surroundings. Why? To protect. This is a protective adaptation to protect themselves again from the predator. Okay, a deer has got brown color so that it can hide. It is a type of camouflage. It can hide in the grasslands and amongst the dry grass. So to protect itself from enemies or predators. I'll just write here predator because that is a new term you have learned. Okay. Adaptation for eating flesh. Flesh-eating animals have got well-developed canines. They're sharp and pointed teeth that you have already done in your previous class about the types of teeth, which you have incisors and canines and premolars and molars. So canines are sharp, pointed teeth, which helps in tearing the flesh. So this is a type of adaptation which what type of animals will have it? All these carnivorous animals. So this is found in carnivorous animals. I'll just write down here, carnivorous. Found in carnivorous animals. So all flesh-eating animals or carnivorous animals have well-developed canines. Adaptation for living in cold regions. For example, the polar bear. I told you the polar bear during the cold region, So to bear the intense cold, all these animals who live in intense cold, like the polar region or places which are very, very cold, they have got a thick layer of fat under their skin. Now, fat, like we did in the food and health chapter, so this layer of fat keeps the body warm. So animals staying in cold regions have got thick layer of fat under its skin. Adaptation for living in water. Animals that live in water, how will they breathe in water? They breathe in water through gills. So these are all aquatic animals. Animals that live in water are known as aquatic animals. I'll just write it down here. Sorry. Okay. Another question. So how will you match it? A, adaptation for flight will be 5. So A5. So here, where is A5? This one. So that way you can save time during the Olympiad exam by seeing just the first one. Okay. But then you have to confirm the rest. Adaptation for eating flesh or the carnivorous animals. Sorry, adaptation for B. Adaptation for protection from enemies or predator will be camouflage. So B will be 4. So here B will be 4, this one. Adaptation for eating flesh, sharp and well-developed canines. So C is 2. So here C is 2. Adaptation for living in cold regions is thick layer of fat under the skin. So D is 3. And E, adaptation for living in water, is gills. E is 1. So answer will be this one. Let me see what have you done. Most of you have written. Yes, C. Most of you have written C. Now, these type of questions are very common during the Olympiad exams. Refer to the given flowchart and select the correct option regarding P, Q, R, and S. Okay. Is it an animal? Just next to it is the option written. Is it an animal? Yes. If it is an animal, it can lay eggs or it can give birth to young ones. So it is an animal, it lays eggs? No. It gives birth to young ones? Yes. So P will be an animal that gives birth to young ones. So it can be a viviparous animal. Okay. The other one, it lays eggs. It has got 3 stages in the life cycle. So it can be a housefly. Sorry, it can be a cockroach with a 3-stage life cycle or a hen. It has got 4 stages in the life cycle? Yes. So Q can be a housefly. 3 stages in the life cycle. Young one resembles the parent? No. It doesn't resemble the parent. So R can be an animal that undergoes metamorphosis. Okay. And it resembles, if it resembles a young one, yes. So it can be the hen, where it resembles the young one. We had done the life cycle, or it can be the tortoise, the turtle which we had done. Okay. Now here, this question, duck-billed platypus or spiny anteater. Now these two are mammals and they are exceptions in the group of mammals. Why? Because they are mammals, but they do not give birth to young ones. They lay eggs. So these two are egg-laying mammals. Okay, so I'll just write it down here. They are egg-laying. Q exhibits one non-feeding stage in its life cycle. Now, this is the answer. Q exhibits non-feeding stage in the life cycle. Why? Because it has got 4 stages, out of which one stage is non-feeding. For example, when we were doing the life cycle of the butterfly, the adult butterfly lays eggs. The egg hatches into a caterpillar. Now, the caterpillar eats and eats and eats. It eats a lot of leaves. And after that, it changes into a pupa. Pupa is the resting stage where it is a non-eating stage. So here, out of these 4 stages in the life cycle, one of them is the non-eating stage. So this will be the correct option because Q has got these 4 stages in the life cycle and one of them will be the non-eating stage. So the answer is Q exhibits one non-feeding stage. The rest of them are all incorrect. Okay, let me see. There are no answers here. Next. Next, the name of which of the following cannot be obtained by using the letters given in the box? It's a very easy question, all jumbled up. So there can be some questions on unscramble the scrambled words or jumbled words. And this is one such type. Now here there are a list of so many alphabets, out of which you have to make these words. An insect which sucks our blood. The most common one will be the mosquito. So let me write down here. Okay, a wingless insect. Insect which does not have wings. Insect from where honey is obtained. Social insect that destroys wooden items. Okay. So out of which one insect from which honey is obtained, you'll find that there is no bee here. Okay, there is H here, O here, there's no bee here. So this cannot be formed from this. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. Termite is a social insects means insects that live in colonies. Okay, they've got termites, bees, they're all ants, they're all social insects. Now here, this is a similar one, but there is something missing here. So we'll not be able to do this question. So something is missing in this blank. Yes, termite. Somebody is asking this question. What are termites? Termites are wood-eating animal, insects. Okay, so next one. I'm a desert animal living in hot deserts. I have thick skin with very little hair. Who am I? So this is a very easy one. It is the camel. Now, what are these things known as? Thick skin, very little hair. What are these features known as? These are known as adaptations. Okay. So they have got a thick skin to withstand that intense heat in the desert during the daytime. What else adaptation? What other adaptation do these camels have? Now, in the deserts, you must be knowing that there are a lot of storms happening, sandstorms. So the sand may get into the eyes or the nose through the nostrils of the camel. So the camels, they have got very long eyelashes. So these eyelashes forms like a curtain over their eyes, which does not allow the sand to get into their eyes. And the nostrils, these camels, they've got nostrils which they can open and close at their wills. So whenever there's a sandstorm, the nostrils of the camel, they close and they will open once the sandstorm is off. And this is another adaptation. The camels can live without water and food for many days. They store food in their hump. So these are all structural adaptations which help the camel to live in the desert, in its habitat. Now this is another example. I think we've got time for one more question. Organism X goes into a long sleep in the season when I wear cotton clothes. When you wear cotton clothes, that means it is summer. So sleep during summer is known as estivation. Summer sleep is known as estivation. Winter sleep is known as hibernation. Okay. So when we are doing this question, we'll keep this two in mind. Okay. Organism X. Organism X goes into a long sleep in the season when I wear cotton clothes, that is in summer. Organism Y goes into a long sleep in the season where I wear woolen clothes, that is in winter. So Y hibernates and X estivates. Now let us see. Organism X can be hibernating. No, because organism Y is hibernating and organism X is... Okay, organism X can be hibernating like penguin. Penguin hibernates, but then X goes into summer sleep. So this is wrong. So penguins do not undergo summer sleep. Organism Y can be estivating like Arctic fox. Arctic fox stays in the Arctic region, polar region. So it cannot be estivating. Okay, there will be no summer sleep for Arctic fox. Organism X can be estivating animal like the cockroach. No, not the cockroach. Cockroach will not estivate or hibernate. Now here, organism, why can be hibernating animal like the lizard? Yes, the lizard undergoes winter sleep. Winter sleep is known as hibernation. So this will be the correct answer. So adaptation of animals. Adaptation of animals, somebody is asking. Adaptations are those structures present in animals which help it to live comfortably in their habitat, in their home, wherever they are living. For example, camel has got a hump so that it can live comfortably in the desert. It can go for days without food and water. Okay, so that is known as adaptation. Okay, any other question? Okay. Let me see if we have got one more time. Yes, we'll do this, just one more question. The given options group animals on the basis of their outer covering. But one group has an odd member. Which is that group? Identify this group and select the correct option. Okay, now shark, seahorse, guppy fish. Guppy is a type of small fish. Snake, lizard, frog, dolphin, whale, bat, and the last one is rabbit, fox, and bear. Rabbit, fox, and bear, all of them have got hair on their body. All of them are mammals. So this will be not the correct answer. All of them belong to the same group. Next, dolphin, whale, bat. Bat has got hair on the body. Dolphin does not have, whale does not have. Okay, snake, lizard, and frog. This will be the correct answer because snake and lizard, they've got scales on their body. They are reptiles. They've got a dry scales on their body. And frog has got a moist, slimy skin. So this answer is correct. Snake and lizard belong to one group. Frog does not belong to this group. Okay. So this will be the correct answer. I think we'll stop here. And we'll continue later on. Any questions? Yes, Mamta was asking about adaptation, which I've answered. Yeah, adaptation, I hope you understood. There are some questions about adaptation. So there are structural features that help us to live in any environment comfortably, right? For example, cactus adaptation. It has got spine on the leaves are reduced to spine. Why? So that it can live comfortably in the desert. It can prevent loss of water, right? So with this, we'll close. So we'll continue with this chapter next week. Thank you, children. Thank you, children. Bye.